You may have heard about this term performance coach. Today we're going to be unpacking it and looking at the kinds of things that a performance coach would work with you on. So we're going to debunk the myths and really understand what they do and how you can implement some of the things that they do into your life right now. I'm Ruth Kudzi, the founder of Ruth Kudzi Coaching. I transformed my life and my business, and I'm passionate about helping others do the same. So what does a performance coach actually do? I'm going to start off by telling you what they don't do. A performance coach won't make you or tell you to wake up at 5 a.m. every day. They won't tell you that you need to work 14, 15, 16-hour days. They won't tell you to go hard or go home. Those are all myths. When we're talking about a performance coach, especially in terms of you, your mindset, and your personal performance, it is about helping you tune into all of those things that make you achieve more, that make you step up to being, I know it's a cliche, that best version of yourself. So they start with looking at what is currently going on with you. What's your sleep like? What's your stress like? What are your success habits and daily habits like? And a really simple way to assess this is by doing a questionnaire where you self-assess and self-report. How stressed am I? How much sleep am I getting? What's my diet and nutrition like? And even by doing that questionnaire, a performance coach can start to look at what is going on with you and what you might want to change. So for example, if you're not sleeping enough, we know that that's going to cognitively impact your abilities. Actually, if you don't get enough sleep, then your cognitive function can be depleted by at least 20%. The same as having a couple of alcoholic drinks. So you probably wouldn't have a couple of glasses of wine and then write a document, do a presentation, record a video. And that is effectively what you're doing if you're not having enough sleep. So a performance coach would start to help you look at what's going on. So we're going to start with sleep. So if you're not getting the sleep, what's going on? What's your sleep hygiene like? Is your bedroom just for sleeping and maybe other things, but is your bedroom primarily for sleeping? Do you have any screens in the bedroom? Do you have a routine before you go to bed that actually allows you to wind down? Or do you fall asleep with your phone on your face? All of this impacts the quality of your sleep. And we know there are loads and loads of gadgets that you can use to assess the quality of your sleep. Actually, it's better not having anything in the bedroom, any gadgets, any screens, any electronic devices, so you can sleep more naturally. So take those out of your bedroom and also get blackout blinds. Again, that helps your circadian rhythms, your body's natural rhythms. It helps in melatonin, which means that you can sleep better. So a performance coach may look at your sleep patterns, your sleep behaviours, and help you to have better sleep, better quality sleep, and more consistent sleep. Why is that important? Because it means that you function better cognitively. You think better, you're sharper. A performance coach may also look at your diet and nutrition. Now, they're not going to give you advice unless they're a qualified nutritionist, but what they are going to do is they're going to help you recognise what foods give you energy, what foods don't give you energy, and when it's best to eat different things. The irony of me doing this video right now is I've just had a coffee and it's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Now I know that's going to impact my sleep later, so that probably wasn't the best idea. But actually, it is about having that knowledge and that self-knowledge because we're all different. Some people really react, some people don't react as much. So as a performance coach, they would look at your diet. How frequently do you have things like takeaways? What foods energize you? And they would help you to decide on a diet and nutrition plan that works for you. They're not going to tell you that you have to only eat, I don't know, avocados for the rest of time. It's about working with you. And I think this is the most important thing. A performance coach doesn't direct, they're a coach. So they work with you. So they look at, as I said, sleep, diet, exercise. Let's be really honest here. We all know that exercise is good for our body. We also know it's good for our mental well-being, and it's also good for our cognitive functioning. So again, they're going to be asking you some questions about what you do on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. It's not about directing, but you know your body. You may be someone that loves running. You get that endorphin high from running. So maybe you build that in. It may be that you walk, or you do yoga, or you dance, or you swim. The important thing is that the coach will work with you to determine what you can do that's going to impact your capacity to perform in your job, your capacity to perform in your business. So that's about you choosing the exercise that's going to work for you and that you're able to integrate into your lifestyle. And then they're also going to look at your stress levels, because we know that when you're stressed, it impacts your performance. When you're stressed and your cortisol levels are high, it actually clouds your thinking. And if you're exposed to chronic levels of cortisol, it means your immune function is impacted. And what that means is that you're more susceptible to getting colds, you're more susceptible to getting ill. And we know that that illness really is a manifestation of the stress. So when they're looking at your stress and your perceived stress levels, that is again for you to look at where you can reduce those so you can perform better. We know that short term, some amount of stress is good for us, and cortisol is there for a reason. Adrenaline is there for a reason. But when we have chronic levels of those, it really impacts how we function cognitively, physically, and therefore our performance. So there are lots and lots of kind of assessment tools that they can do so they can assess your perceived level of stress. Obviously, stress is a difficult thing to measure, but you can measure in people's blood, and some performance coaches may do that, but usually they're working with you to look at your perceived levels of stress and how you can remove stressors or reduce the impact of certain stressors. So we've looked at all of the things about you, your sleep, your diet, your exercise, your levels of stress. A performance coach would then look at and help you look at what you actually do during a week. And they can do this by getting you to do a time audit, see where you're spending your time. They can use things like Stephen Covey's quadrants, which I absolutely love. It's in 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, where you do a time audit and you look at, okay, what's in quadrant 1, what's important and urgent? What's in quadrant 2, what's important and not urgent? What's in quadrant 3, not important and urgent? And what's in quadrant 4, not important and not urgent? Now, quadrant 2 is where you build capacity. It's things like training. It's things like coaching. It's things like exercise, actually spending time with friends that energize us, strategic planning, visioning activities. The more that we can build our capacity in quadrant 2, so doing those things, the more we're able to perform better in quadrant 1, because we're building our capacity. And that means that we don't go to quadrant 4, which might be gossiping, it might be going on social media, it might be researching holidays, it might be reading gossip, it might be reading about politics, whatever your distraction method is. We go there because we're overloaded in quadrant 1. We go there because our perceived demands are so high and we believe that we have to do everything now. If we can take a step back and take some time each week to build our capacity in quadrant 2, we're actually allowing ourselves to really focus in quadrant 1, and we're less likely to get distracted. And that's what a performance coach will help you do. They'll help you really look at what you're doing when, what you can get rid of. We know that brilliant tool, do, ditch and delegate. What you can get rid of completely, what you can delegate, and what you can reduce. So for example, if someone's working with a performance coach, they may say to them, how often do you really need to check your emails and check into your social media? What about if we reduce that to 2 or 3 times a day? What would that feel like? And then you go away and do it. So it's about looking at your behaviours and your habits, and also your underpinning beliefs and thoughts that mean that you feel that you have to be omnipresent or always on or responding to things straight away, and starting to build more healthy behaviours, habits, routines and rituals which actually support your performance, which mean that you get more done. I know when I work with a lot of clients, if I say to them, look, just take a 45-minute block, switch off all distractions. My laptop actually always has do not disturb. That's the first thing I do in the morning when I get onto my laptop. I put it onto do not disturb so I get no notifications. Really, really simple. Open up your document and do the thing that you want to do first. 45 minutes, no distractions. And when you do that, you are so surprised at how much you get done, because we're really taught that we need to multitask. And when we multitask, our brain switches between tasks. Now, when people are really effective at doing that, they've just become effective at switching. So it feels like they're doing two things at once, but what they're really doing is they're switching really, really quickly. Now, if we're thinking, we're switching to different compartments of the brain. So we're not giving something our full attention, and therefore we're never performing at our best. So if you can, it's about reducing what you're doing, reducing your mental load to focus on one thing at a time. And again, that's what a performance coach will help you do. They'll help you to realize when you are at your optimum energy and focus, and what you need to focus on to move you forward, to perform better, to achieve those goals. What are those things that you need to do now? What are the priorities? And what are the things that maybe are less of a priority? And again, that's another role of a performance coach, to help you get really clear on where you're going, what that goal is, and what are the steps to get there. And inside the steps, what are the things that you need to do? What are those big rocks that will move you forward? Because those big rocks are the first things that you put in. This is not about getting up at 5 a.m. every day. It's not about running marathons. This is about looking at what you can do and what you can control to perform better, to get more done, ideally more done in less time, so you can be more productive, so you can perform better in all areas of your life. Some of it is about saying no. Some of it is about helping your clients or helping you prioritize what are the things that I need to do, what are the essentials, and where can I get support from, and who can I go to, and what is really going to move me forward. We know, we see all of those things about the 80-20 rule, and it's true. It is about understanding what that's going to look like for you. And finally, for all of those women out there, you may want to, when you're working for a performance coach, also look at your energy and your energy at different times of the month, because that is going to impact your performance. And I work with lots and lots of clients, and I know lots of performance coaches bring in a woman's cycles into their planning. So then they plan for that cycle, and they plan to do things at different stages in the month, which will optimize their performance. So performance coaches are all about working with you so you can have better performance in a way that means that you can work less and get more. So performance coaching is one style of coaching. If you want to find out more about training to be a coach, click below and check out the Accredited Coach Academy, which trains you to become an accredited certified coach. The next video is over here, so remember to like, subscribe and ring that bell so you'll be notified the next time we have a video.